I got that breath. You get that wah. You get that added security, man. You get that hook. You get that foundation. You keeping the code. You got HaWah. You got the breath of security. And you got that secure breath. HaWah is HaWah, which they call Heya or Ashir or, Aya, Ashir Aya, which was Heya, which was earlier HaWah, which is the fifth and sixth letter in the Picto-Paleo Hebrew, my nigga, the Hebrew, with no Yah in front of it. You went through the door and got HaWah. You didn't go through the door together with your family, your tribe, led by your strong power. Your strong power didn't lead you, your tribe, through the door, didn't gather you, tribe you up to bring you through the door, to give you Yah. You got Wah. Then you got your Zion, Mount Zion. You got your Dawi. Hosea 3, search for HaWah and Khan Dawi, because Mount Zion has one shepherd. Mount Zion will cut you off. That's how we eat. That's how we get our food. We got to cut off the hijack. That's how we get nourished. If you don't have your Yah before your food, your nourishment, you're on that play. Because the actual Hebrew Yah has everything to do with work, right? Worshiping who? The Creator didn't say, I am worship. No, you know to worship the existence. The one who is the existing one should be automatic because you got your revelation. And now you got your foundation. HaWah. That's how easy it is to continue. All you got to do is look it up. I am that I am. Say, what's the Creator's name? Oh, I am that I am. What are they calling it? Oh, it's the singular imperfective form of Heya, which is the imperfective form of HaWah, which is the fifth and the sixth Picto-Paleo Hebrew letter, meaning a secure breath, a breath in security, a breath of security, which is your framer and your shaper, your Ama Abba. Because when you breathe, you first got to inhale. That inhale is your Ama, that's the feminine. The masculine is the exhale. Wah. They say the dragon sound like he's saying wah when he's burning you down. They say wall. I say wah. The dragon sound like he's saying wah while he's giving you that added security so you can have a foundation. So you ain't, anything other than firm, fixed, and immovable out here, man. Now we can eat together, cut off this hijack, and be nourished. Then we can start building our wall, our tent wall for Joy World. Who's going to be surrounded in it? Who's going to be contained? Who's going to help us build it up from the mud so we can worship blue, purple, red, our Creator, and throw away this hijack and put that work in with our hand bones, man. Ooh, and it keeps going, right? This story tells our story. And we gotta see that the code is already here for us to keep, already locked in for us to keep, man. Hey, Halal HaWah. We popping up. We popping up. We popping up. Yeah, we found you, my queen. You in Algiers. You in Louisiana. Yeah. Okay. So let's get it from here as we start to near our dismount, start to think about making a dismount. I mean, we done talked about the Karam Ka, HaWah. Then they get this Chief Belteshazzar after Yosef dies. Belteshazzar ends up being this saint, you know what I'm saying, with this three magi flow. Man, okay. HaWah said, my name shall his horn be exalted. I said, what's his name? Halal HaWah. We popping off. Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 55. We're going to get some more of this Esdras. I love this Esdras, man. All this I have spoken before you, HaWah, because you made the world for our sakes. As for other people, which also come from Adam, you have said that they are nothing. HaWah, you said they ain't nothing, man. Compared to your treasured ones, they are like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them like a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, HaWah, behold, these hijacks, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us. Now they got something. And now they begun to devour us. They're making treaties on us, man. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your only begotten. So their Christ replaced the entire nation of Israel, because we are the firstborn. Even David is called the firstborn. We're going to get the Targum translations because they go in on these Psalms, and it's going to be mind blasting. Remember we talked about Psalm 74? They got a whole nother translation of Psalm 74 with this Leviathan flow, man. Remember about the Leviathan meat to the righteous in the wilderness? They got a whole nother translation in the Targum script of Psalm 74. Ain't even got much to do with, all right, we're going to talk about it. Let's go. For the dismount. But we, your people, whom you called your firstborn, your only begotten, your fervent lover, are given into their hands, man. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance, man? What happened to our land? Oh, treaties. How long shall this endure? So this Targum flow, Aramaic, originally spoken translation of the Hebrew Bible, they say that a reader or a professional translator would give in the common language of the listeners when he was not Hebrew. This had become necessary near the end of the first century, as the common language was Aramaic, and Hebrew was used for little more than schooling and worship. The translator frequently expanded his translation with paraphrases, explanations, and examples, so it became a connoisseur. Writing down the Targum was initially prohibited. Nevertheless, some Targumic writings appeared as early as the middle of the first century. Oh no, at first they were not recognized as authoritative by the hijack. Some subsequent Jewish traditions, beginning with the Babylonian Jews back to Babylonian captivity, exilarchs, right? Let's get it. Accepted the written Targunim as authoritative translations of the Hebrew scriptures into Aramaic. So some Jewish traditions accepted the Targum. Today, the common meaning of Targum is a written Aramaic translation of the Bible. Only Yemenite, remember Yemen? Yemen, the son of, or he's one of the ancestors of Joktan or something, right? So they continue to use the Targum liturgically. All right, let's go. So it's a cool link. I'll leave it off for you. You can get different Psalms translations with it. Let's bounce around and see the difference in the Targum. Now, again, it could be something, could be nothing. I can't say they're accurate. Maybe they're just giving you another interpretation of what's going on, with certain things. But we got a lot out this Targum, especially with the Psalms 110 drop. My Lord said to your Lord. They want to say, oh, David's calling Jesus Lord. Nah, he says, my master. My master. I mean, I gotta get it. Instead of saying, oh, the Lord said to my Lord, it says, HaWah said in his decree to make me Lord of all Israel. Now we talking David and not no JC. HaWah said in his decree to make me Lord of all Israel, but he said to me, wait still for Saul of the tribe of Benjamin to die. For one reign must not encroach on another. And afterwards I will make your enemies a prop for your feet. How many times has he told David, I'm going to make your enemies your footstool? He just said in Psalms 89, I'm going to smash your enemies to pieces, man. So, we talking Dawi. But the Christian uses this, and the Christianite uses this to explain how their Yahweh Shai, how their Christ is worshipped by David. It says, my Lord said to your Lord said to my Lord. So your Lord is this, and my Lord is. Come on, man. Wait still for Saul of the tribe of Benjamin to die, for one reign must not encroach on another, and afterwards I will make your enemies a prop for your feet. HaWah said by his decree to give me the dominion in exchange for sitting and study of Torah. Wait at my right hand until I make your enemies a prop for your feet. HaWah said in his decree to appoint me ruler over Israel. But HaWah said to me, wait for Saul of the tribe of Benjamin to pass away from the world. And afterwards you will inherit kingship, and I will make your enemies a prop for your feet. These are three different translations of Psalms 118, and none of them got nothing to do with Jesus. Christians, let's go. Psalms 18. And we read this a lot, right? With, smoke coming out his nostrils, fire out of his mouth. But instead of, I don't know if they're trying to hide the dragon or are they trying to give another interpretation of who the dragon is smiting. But let's read a piece of this. Verse 7. When I am in distress, I pray in the presence of HaWah, and in the presence of my power, I make supplication. And he accepts my prayer from his temple, and my petition is in his presence is received by his ears and is granted. This is David popping off. HaWah trembled and shook, and the foundations of the mountains tottered and split, for he was angry with it. Now, instead of saying smoke went up from his nostrils, it says the arrogance of Pharaoh went up like smoke, my God. Whoa. Come on, man. Now, this don't mean that smoke didn't go up from his nostrils, but it's giving you another perspective of this smoke, and that who got the smoke was Pharaoh. Now, why would they hide this Pharaoh situation? We're talking David. How can we be talking David and Pharaoh at the same time? When I think of Pharaoh, I think of Egypt. I don't know about you. It says Pharaoh the wicked. So Maybe they're just saying wicked in general and calling all the wicked Pharaoh. But they're speaking of specific Pharaoh. They say the arrogance of Pharaoh went up like smoke. Then he sent his anger like a burning fire that consumes before him. His rebuke burns at his utterance like coals of fire. And he bent down the heavens, and his glory was manifested, a dark cloud, a path before him. So he was manifested in his strength over swift cherubs. And he proceeded in might on the wings of the storm wind. So instead of flying on the wings of the wind, it says he manifested in his strength over swift cherubs. Not he just hopped on a cherub. He manifested in his strength, and he proceeded in might on the wings of the storm wind. And he made his presence dwell in the midst and surrounded himself with the clouds of his glory as a covering. And he made favorable rains to fall on his people and mighty waters from the massed clouds of darkness on the wicked from the eternal heights. HaWah gave a shout from heaven. The Most High raised up his utterance. He cast hail and coals of fire. He sent his words like arrows, his word like arrows, and scattered them. He sent many lightning bolts and confounded them. And the depths of the sea became visible, and the pillars of the world were uncovered. Oh, I thought you were spinning on a ball. You don't have no pillars. A spinning ball ain't got no foundation. But HaWah said that we were firm fixed. The foundation was fixed, fastened, still, firm, fixed, immovable. Pillars of the world were uncovered at the rebuke of HaWah from the utterance of your mighty wrath. So instead of smoke out of his nostrils, fire out of his mouth, like the dragon flow, they're talking specifically about Pharaoh going up like smoke, which could still be talking dragon flow, burning down the Pharaoh. And what does that got to do with David? And what does David got to do with Moses? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, boss. Uh-oh, boss. It sounds very Moshe-ish, right? We done talked before about the possibility of both of these characters, being parts of each other. Moses and David being parts of each other. You know what I'm saying? It's possible that Prester John is a combination of David and Moses. Got all these powers like Moshe, like this high level Merlin. Merlin is also a take on Moses, so Moses is Moshe, all these are titles, right? Dawood is a title. So these are titles for these mighty Nagas. Now, Psalm 74, right? Because, oh man, yeah, we just got Psalm 89 too. Yeah, I mean, we're doing a lot of comparisons right now. Yeah, I mean, just right quick, Psalms 89, man, it's the Targum version of just the opening of that. I will praise the kindness. This is a good lesson uttered by Abraham, who came from the east. Uttered by Abraham that comes from the east. Okay, let's go. I will praise the kindness of HaWah forever, from generation to generation. I will make known your truth from my mouth. For I said, the world will be built by kindness. You will establish your truth in the heavens. I will make a covenant with Abraham, my chosen. I confirmed it with my servant David. Whoa. We are popping off, man. So This covenant HaWah established with David is the same covenant with Abraham, but it's confirmed through David. So anyone claiming Abraham, the promise of Abraham, Ishmaelites, and whoever wants to claim Abraham, even Lot wants to claim Abraham, and Lot ain't even the seed of Abraham. He's the nephew of Abraham. That's Abraham's brother's bond. Still Baruch, they were still giving blessings, right? But they're not within this confirmation of the inheritance, the heritage, the royal throne is established, confirmed through Dawid. I will establish your sons forever, and for every generation I will build your royal throne forever. So in the Tanakh 19:17, it says, I have made a covenant with my chosen. It ain't talking about Abraham here, right? I mean, it is, but they don't say it. You know what I'm saying? But we know, we're talking us, we're talking Abraham, we're talking Isaac. I have sworn unto David, my servant. I have confirmed it, right? I will establish your seed and build up your throne to all generations. Forever, Managa, forever. And the heavens will confess your wonders, a while also your truth in the assembly of the Holy One. I will not violate my covenant, and the utterance of my lips I will not change. This forever talk is forever, Managa, with David. Once I have sworn by my holy name, HaWah, I will not lie to David. His sons will exist forever, and his throne is bright as the sun before me. His Targum got to drop. And I will make him firstborn of the kings of the house of Judah. Let's be specific now. So just as Edris, just as Edris just brought out that HaWah, whom has called thy firstborn, we your people whom you called your firstborn, we are the firstborn. In 89, in the Tanakh, it calls Dawid. He says, hey, you shall call me father. Thou art my father, rock of my salvation, and I will appoint him firstborn. The highest of the kings of the earth. We're talking to Preston. Here it says, I will make him firstborn, specifically, firstborn of the kings of the house of Judah, the highest of the kings of the earth. So whoever holds the scepter out the house of Judah is the highest of the kings on the earth plane, period. And there ain't no play, and we popping off. I will preserve my goodness to him forever, and my covenant is constant for him. I will set up his sons and daughters forever, and his throne for as many days as the heavens will last. Let's go. Let's go. So when we talk Psalm 74, just like we read Psalms 18, it's like, they brought the Pharaoh into it. The arrogance of Pharaoh went up like smoke. Let's read Psalms 74. And I'm just surfing the wave looking for, you know how they be saying, You know how we was talking last time, man, about this Leviathan, right? Thou didst break the sea in pieces by thy strength. Thou didst shatter the heads of the sea monsters in the water. Thou did crush the heads of Leviathan. Thou gave him to be food to the folk inhabiting the wilderness. So, if we're just looking at this, food to the people in the wilderness, well, we know we're talking Hawah's people back to the manna flow, but here's another way to look at it. Here's a completely different way to look at it. We're just talking Psalm 74. Yeah. Some even say you crushed the heads of Leviathan, you fed them to the creatures of the desert. It went from the people in the wilderness to the creatures. And I said, whoa, why are they saying creatures? You go from folk in the wilderness to creatures in the desert. And what food are we talking about? Some say meat, right? Some translations say meat. Hey, HaWah set all the borders. We're talking the boundaries of the earth, man. Talking the earth ponds, huh? Targum, what is you saying about this? Psalm 74. Let's go right to it. But HaWah is the king whose holy presence is from of old, verse 12. One who carries out redemption in the midst of the land. You cut off the waters of the sea by your power. You broke the heads of sea serpents. It don't even say Leviathan. It just says sea serpents. And drowned the Egyptians at the sea. Back to this Pharaoh talk. You shattered the heads of Pharaoh's warriors. Whoa. Ho, ho, ho. Here it says you shattered the heads. You crushed, you shattered the heads of the sea monsters in the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. In the Targum, it reads, you shattered the heads of Pharaoh's warriors. First, it said you broke the heads of the sea serpents, drowned the Egyptians at the sea, shattered the heads of Pharaoh's warriors. You handed them over for destruction to the people of the house of Israel. Whoa. So instead of you getting Leviathan meat, food, right? It was the people, according to the Targum, the warriors that got handed over for destruction to the house of Israel, which is why I said, why did they suddenly start calling them, first of all, folk inhabiting the wilderness when the righteous are in the wilderness and we're looking for this righteous, flow? Then they start calling us creatures in the desert. And I said, that seemed like a slap in the face. Now we know they're talking about the tribe of Israel, but what we're being fed is Pharaoh's warriors for destruction. Not that we're eating them, but we're literally they're being devoured or destroyed by us because HaWah is handing over Pharaoh's warriors, according to the Targum. He's handing over Pharaoh's warriors to the folk, right? The folk, the creatures, which are the people of the house of Israel. For the dismount. We popping. We popping. Press the John, installment number 98, my naga, road to 100.